Welcome to another coffee break here on my channel Firm Learning. You know that this is the place where I want to help you to become successful in the first years of your career. And today's topic is a fan favorite. It's a topic that many of you have already requested, and this is the famous, dreaded consulting bag. How do you pack your bag as a consultant? This is what we're going to discuss today. I will show you how I packed my bag as a consultant in the past, and I will share some tricks, will share my perspective, what you will likely need, what you probably won't need, and probably what can be a lifesaver in certain situations. So before we dive into it, let me start by providing some context. So as you know, if you've seen some other videos on my channel, the typical work week in the life of a consultant is that from Monday to Thursday, you are at the client. So usually Monday morning, you take the first flight in the morning to fly out, fly to the client, and then you fly back Thursday evening. And this, for this reason, requires you, of course, to have a well-packed bag to live through the week. Of course, at the moment, due to the current health situation, the rhythm looks a bit different. Travel is down. People are not traveling that much. There's more home office. They also know that travel is already starting to pick up again slowly. So trust that this will become more relevant for you in the future again. So let's start by talking about the exterior, because there are some little things that you can do as well. And one of the main problems that you will face is that many consultants will use very similar bags. So at the airport, there were lots of bags that pretty much look the same. So my tip is use something like this, a little piece of something just to mark your bag, that everybody knows that this is yours and that you can quickly distinguish it from other bags as well. And of course, a proper luggage tag with the information, with your personal details will be helpful, so that in case you lose it, in case somebody else finds this, they know who you are and how they can reach you. So why do consultants even care so much what exactly they pack into their bag? And the main reason is that you will not check your luggage. So you can only bring hand luggage. And the reason is that it would just take too much time if after you land, you go to the luggage belt conveyor, you wait for your piece of baggage to pick it up. The team wants to directly take the taxi, take the cab to the client once you land. So everybody will just pick up hand luggage. There will be no checked in luggage. So let's start how these bags are structured. And of course, the different types of luggages will be different, but usually you have one compartment where it's more free float, right? And one compartment where you have a fixed thing that you can make over it to really keep it all in place. And I like to have the things which are a bit more delicate, like the shirts, where you don't want to have too many wrinkles after you iron them, to have them rather in this part, because this is then how you keep it all together, how you make sure that it's all in it. So let's start indeed with the shirts. And here what you need to understand is that on Monday morning, you will already drive to the client and then fly to the client fully dressed. So in your suit, in your shirt and so on. So for Monday, you already wear your outfit. This means that you still need outfits for Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So 3 days. But then it's a good best practice to always have an additional one in store with you, so that, for instance, if for whatever reason you might need to stay there for another day spontaneously, that you would be able to stay there, for instance, on Friday as well, without running out of clothes. So it's best practice to really have 4 clothes with you, 4 pieces of shirts. And of course here, types of shirts you see here, so I might make another video in the future talking a bit more about this typical consultant outfit, what types of shirts, what types of suits you're supposed to wear. But like usual, plain colors, white, blue, some simple stripes, this is what's usually okay, this is what you will wear most of the time. So let's start with them indeed. And of course here the critical thing is how you fold them, because you want to make sure that they're not too wrinkled when you then unpack them in the hotel. So a simple way of doing it after you iron is, I do it like this, put these arms here together and then fold it once like this to have such a package. Then I take this package and try to fit this into this half here. And here now you might do some delicate additional folding. Just of course, the less folding you do, the better for this, in order to fit this in properly. The next item to take care of is your underwear. And here, for the same logic, you already wear your things on Monday, then you need 4 more days to be covered until Friday. And then my recommendation is to bring even one additional one in case you want to do some sports. So here, for instance, 1 pair of sports socks. This always makes sense. So you have 5 additional pieces of underwear. And now if you look here in the compartment where we put the shirts, here it makes sense to then stuff this a little bit here in the free spaces, because this will then help this whole area not to move so much, and the less it all moves, the less wrinkles, the less problems you get with ironing your shirts afterwards. So once you've all put it in, then you can close this, and this then should make sure that this is more or less firmly secured. And then this first half part of the bag is done. Once you then unpack your bag in the hotel, it always makes sense to check how wrinkly your shirts really are. And indeed, most business hotels will have opportunity to help you then with the ironing or to provide you the facilities so that you can then iron the shirts in the perfect way if they're too wrinkly for you to wear them. Next point is the shoes, and this is always a question of personal philosophy, because indeed in such a bag you usually only have place for one additional pair of shoes. So you will already wear your business shoes on Monday, so the question is, what is the second pair that you bring? And some colleagues like to bring a second pair of business shoes so that then they can alternate the shoes during the week. This of course can make a lot of sense and will help you to really keep the shoes in a well-looking place for the long term. Personally, I always like to prioritize sports. So I always brought a pair of running shoes so that I have this with me. And this is then indeed something that you can just then pack in the second half. I usually did it in some way like this, to have the shoes in here in the section. I often, frankly, also use the shoe bag to make sure that then potentially dirty shoes are not making other things dirty here as well. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm not having this here, but indeed you could pack this just in a simple garbage bag, a simple plastic garbage bag, for instance, to have this clean and secured here. Next is a leisure outfit. This is a little bit optional. Not all colleagues do this, but sometimes it can be nice. And this is for some evenings with your colleagues, where maybe it's nice to go to the hotel first to change, to then not keep continuing wearing your dress shirt that you wear all day from work. So here indeed most colleagues will do this anyway, so it's not absolutely required, but sometimes it's nice just to have a normal pair of trousers and just a normal polo shirt or something like this that you can wear and do not need to walk around with your business outfit all the time. So this is something that you can just put in here to make this work for you. The next one is your sports outfit. So we already have the shoes and the running socks in the bag. Now, of course, a pair of running trousers and then a running shirt will be helpful and appreciated depending on the sport that you do. You, of course, might also be taking other material that you need to make this work for you. Next one is something to keep you a bit warm. And here most people either have an additional jumper that they take with them or maybe also a vest like this. So often there's not enough space to take both. Personally, I like to have something like this. It's a vest. This is always nice and you can also wear it in the team room under your suit, for instance. So this is always a nice addition that's often worthwhile just to pack and to have with you when you pack your bag. Next one is ties. So these days you do not need to wear a tie at every client, but there are still some clients that will require you to wear them, but this is just part of the dress code. Here just good to have selection of basic colors, nothing too crazy like dark blue, red, green. These are colors that I personally like to wear. And here indeed, if you know that you will need a tie, then pack enough. Make sure that you have 3 or 4 that you can really alternate during the week. But even if you're at a client where you do not expect that you need to wear a tie, where you know that you actually don't need to do that, it's always good practice to have at least one tie with you. So if in case maybe you are suddenly meeting somebody else, a senior person, maybe also outside of the organization, on a short notice need to join another workshop, another pitch, maybe even have another client, that you are flexible, that you have a tie with you that you can wear if this is then required for the setting that you're in. And here often it's good just to roll it a bit, make sure that you don't knit it too hard, but a simple roll like this is fine, where then put it in the bag and make this work in a proper way. And last but not least, your toilet bag with all the sanitary things that you need during your stay in the hotel. So here the good thing is, if you are missing something, if you got something at home, most of these business hotels will be able to provide you with all the basic things like a toothpaste, for instance. But it's of course always nicer to have your own things that you can then bring. So indeed, I would just always also pack it here to the side, make sure that it doesn't interfere too much with your ties. And then these days, of course, some additional corona masks is always helpful to have this in the bag as well, to then have it here when you need it. So these are all the essentials indeed. After you have all this, you can pack it up, make sure it all fits well. And you see this nicely fills out such a hand luggage. This is now also a small size. These days there are even a bit larger sizes of hand luggage that are allowed to be brought into the cabin of the airplane. So this is fine. You see that you can easily close this. So that's it. And from my experience, this is the setup that works really well. This is how I did it most of the time. Some colleagues like to bring a second suit. And here the rationale is, well, if you only have one suit with you that you're wearing on Monday, of course you're risking it that maybe you spill some coffee over it, maybe your trousers have some problem, there's maybe a damage, maybe they rip apart, and then of course you have quite some problem. Then you have nothing else to wear anymore. This is now one of the reasons why some people like to bring a second suit. And then of course you can bring a simple suit bag like this. This works that you can then often put it together, you can then carry it, and then you can also have it here around the bag if you then travel around the airport. This can work, and if you have this, the additional benefit of using this is that if you then open it, you can use this also as a place just to have some other things by opening it and just putting more stuff here in the bottom. So this can then just be used for additional space. So personally, I did not do this. I did not take this with me most of the time. I rather preferred a leaner setup. And indeed, for these cases where maybe really you spill tea on your trouser or anything like this, I just like to take rather one pair of trousers, one pair of leisure trousers, like the one that I'm currently wearing here right now, because this is a trouser that in the worst case, you might also be able just to bring to the client, wear with a dress shirt, and then maybe you're not wearing a suit, but it will still look proper and will give you this one additional day that it might need you to just pick up another dress trouser somewhere else. So that was my routine, how I did it most of the time. But I also want to stress that there's nothing like the golden rule book of how you need to pack your bag as a consultant. And if you ask different people, they will come up with different suggestions, different styles, different things that are important to them, what you bring with them. So here I'd also love to hear your views, your opinions as well. Leave me a comment in the comment section below the video to let me know what your tips and tricks were, what the things were that you did into your bag, and I will do my very best to answer every single comment that you write. So as always, if you took any value out of this video at all, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and also subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my content. I also have an Instagram where you can see even more content from me. My handle is Firm Learning there. And if you want to learn even more about consulting, I have one signature course about slide writing, about how to create presentations in the style of leading consulting firms. If you're interested in that, I have over 10,000 students who took the course already. There's a link to the course in the video description. Check it out. And now I also want to say a big thank you to all the members of Firm Learning. You're really making a big contribution to the channel. Thanks so much for your support. And if you want to become a member as well, hit the join button next to the subscribe button to check it all out. My name is Heinrich. I release new videos every single Saturday on my channel. So talk to you again next week, next Saturday. Until then, good weekend to all of you. This is Heinrich from Firm Learning. Bye bye.